Hi again everyone, greetings from the Glass Workshop. First I want to thank you for your kind comments and questions on my previous videos. My first video have gotten over 1,700 views. It's not much in the YouTube world, but it's still so much more than I expected when I first posted it, because it's such a niche interest. So I guess it means that it has been useful to at least some of you. That's why I'm continuing on this little project. And this time I will show you how I paint a portrait. Okay, so let's start. I mentioned previously that I paint on reverse side of the glass, and I usually start with darkest shades lines first. Most artists do the opposite, so starting with the light and then building up shadow and halftones layer by layer. For me it's easier this way, I think, because I used to work as a tattoo artist for many years actually, and that's how you shade a tattoo. You start with the lines and then with the darkest shadows. So it's kind of the way I got used to do my sketches and the tattoos, and I just couldn't unlearn it. So it kind of, went on with me when I started doing glass work. Here are the lines I did. I didn't film that because I guess it's pretty obvious. I guess the only tip is to remember that human faces do not have a lot of harsh dark lines in them, so really think well before you place them. Rather do less than more, and maybe use browns instead of like harsh black is black. Next step is straightforward, the usual. After the lines are done, I cover the whole thing with a layer of the darkest brown I have. And when that's dry, I start removing everything that is not necessary, which is a lot. So my advice is also, again, if in doubt, just remove it, because you can always add more on your next firing, right? But you can't undo what's already there. So I leave a bunch of dark color in the hair, but very little in the face. While that was in the kiln, I also painted the Sacred Heart, and that was super satisfying. Next layer we go a little lighter brown, and repeat the same process, covering it with badger brush and then cleaning away. Again, as you see, I left not much in the face, just building a little bit of transition. And on his collar I am using silver stain to turn it into like a golden color. Here I have a halo, which has already also been painted and fired on clear glass, and I'm testing to see which shades to pick. I will put a link in the description where you can purchase the enamels I use. They are made by a very talented master glazier I work alongside with. They are high temperature enamels. And so I picked two of the colors, and I'm using the manual airbrush to spray the enamel. This is the tool I mentioned previously, and you can easily make it yourself. This is not something that's sold really. Here is what I have after this firing. Next step is again similar, just going lighter, this kind of gingery brown. It looks more orange here than in real life, but yeah, just ignore that. And I also use this layer to scratch out the pattern on the collar. And since I'm an idiot and my hand is covering everything I'm doing, I cut this part of the clip short, but yeah, it's the same thing. I just clean it up. I still remove a lot, but you know, don't let your brain tell you that it's somehow a waste of your work when you remove a lot. Sometimes it's that's how you feel, but just keep on cleaning until you really see that you have everything you need and no less. Once I know that I have 2 firings left to finish, I use the lightest layer, and you see how it kind of ties everything together pretty nicely. And after this layer is fired, I am adding another layer of the same light brown I just used previously. just the one I used prior to my lightest shade. So this lets me create a nice transition between the two. Just a little cleanup on the eyes and adding some more color to eyes and lips, and that's it. So I know this was very quick and sped up, so if you're green to stained glass painting and it was confusing, just go to my first video where I talk about different techniques of painting and types of paint. So this was more of a quick run through and to demonstrate how I paint on reverse, and for people who tried maybe more by the books techniques, but maybe it's difficult, doesn't work out, so that might be an alternative to try, especially if you're like me and has this bad habit of drawing from dark to light. So hope this was somehow helpful, and thank you very much, and as usual, ask away in the comments section if you have any questions.